Even the music choice talks about the sky. I mean, here. Remember we. Hence the rainbow.
Yeah, we're chasing the rainbow.
You can confirm this, by the way.
Yes.
You can confirm this for me. I saw a tweet the other day, and this person was taking a picture of the rainbow, but
Yes.
from an elevated bridge.
Yes.
He says it's actually secular.
Yes.
There's not this pot of gold at the end of it. No, it's secular.
It's secular.
It's a ring.
It's a ring. And when you fly, it follows you. So it's a ring that follows you. Because remember, a rainbow is the color disposition with the water and the reflection of light and all of that.
Yeah.
So when you're flying, and sometimes when you're flying like over the clouds, right?
Yeah.
You'll see a rainbow that follows you. So we call it the angel's ring with us. So if you get a rainbow while you're flying during bad weather, it's the angel's ring with you. So it's flying with you.
Aren't you afraid of heights?
I am.
I thought so.
I am. That's why I fell on the double story. No first floor. No,
but you took it beyond, right?
But look, I'll say it took me a while to get a hang of, the heights.
Okay.
I'd never been on high mountains. Where I'm from, like the highest mountain is probably just a hill there or when I was Phuket. But besides that, so when you get into an aeroplane and you realize, shucks, I'm high.
Yeah.
Like I'm 10,000 feet in the sky.
Sure.
I'm in control now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a surreal feeling.
That's right.
And you get that adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
And the fear just goes out the window. But every single time right before you fly, there's that little bit of anxiety.
Of course.
Like even I'm sure with yourself when you fly sometimes, Lena, as you take off, you say,
In fact, I get that. I think I never really get the anxiety with flying because I think I trust the aviation, space.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, I really do.
Thank you.
Because we have more car crashes than
airplane crashes.
Thank you.
100%.
I mean, come on. The logic there speaks for
100%.
itself. So I get anxious with the show every single morning.
Oh, wow.
Before I turn on the mic.
Wow. That's interesting.
That for me is, and I remember I questioned this with even my peers.
Yeah.
And they said the day that dies is the day you leave. Oof. Because it means you're not respecting it anymore.
Oof.
So I don't know, when that your anxiety, what does it say to you before the flight?
I think the anxiety is go for it. It's the anxiety. It's a push. It's that nervousness because remember, flying is not as simple as there's a lot of things at play. There's all of these factors, and we plan.
Yeah.
So I don't just hop into an aircraft. So that anxiety and that nervousness is everything needs to go according to plan. But even if it doesn't, I'm prepared.
You're ready.
I'm ready. I've trained so long and so hard for it.
This is Goitseona
Diale,
CEO and co-founder of Urefu.
Yes.
Urefu.
Swahili for higher. So fly higher.
Done. Pack that. Because it's a baby, it's born, it's happening.
Yes.
We'll come to how it came about.
100%.
Environment can either make you or deter you. You are from one of the shining examples of what African monarchy can do. Bafuke.
Yes.
That environment, did it lead to this?
I think to a large extent it did. Growing up, I grew up in a small village just outside of Phuket in Rasimone. And my grandfather had a farm near Pilanesberg Airport, which is near Sun City, right?
Sure.
And that was my first encounter with aeroplanes. So, and when I mean back in the day, I mean early 2000s. I'm still very young.
I was about to say
the 90s.
What do you mean back in the day?
But back in the days,
man.
So, back in the day, we used to go to the farm, go to Komu,
Okay.
And I remember I used to sit behind the bucket and I used to watch all those private jets land for the clients going to Sun City and all of those things.
Okay.
Those planes going there. And I remember I used to say, I'll probably never fly in my life because, if you're born in a village, flying and all these other, expensive activities.
You only dream your dream is basically based on what you can reach.
100%.
Yeah.
But it's always been that fascination. But in the Royal Bafokeng Nation, we are a nation of dreamers. We are a nation of dreamers. If you meet a Mufokeng anywhere in the world right now, right, it's either they're successful, they're dreaming of being successful, or they're working on being successful.
Sure.
There's a culture of achievement. There's a culture of excellence, right?
Okay.
In every single village in the Bafokeng Nation. And that example, we see it from the king. Kgosi Leruo gives us a good example of that.
Okay.
You know, you build a great kingdom, you amass wealth for your people, and
That's
not
right.
for yourself.
That's right.
You educate the next generation en masse. Lots and lots, thousands and thousands of young people are educated through the monarchy. And are you telling me that environment is not an environment of excellence where diamonds are made?
Oh, yeah.
You have no choice but to
But
succeed.
to be, yeah.
And for me, it was that thing. And I went to a school called Lebwana II, College of the Royal Bafokeng.
Okay.
And that school is the epitome of excellence and Bafokeng excellence.
Yeah.
You know, where from the first day you walk in, you are told your dreams are not here. They are higher than where you want to be. So if you say,
whoa. That's orientation week?
that's orientation week.
Never.
You go to class, how to compete the phone or who's wearing the fanciest shoes and whatever. We all wore a uniform, yes. It was about, I'm going to achieve better than you, so I'm going to work harder, 10 times harder. So your friends in your circle, if you want to be popular, you need to be the smartest kid.
And that's how you compete.
And that's how you compete. And you dream big. You know, you say, no, I want to go to university. And our teachers always say, okay, which one? Harvard, Yale, Oxford? Oh, I want to do this. Okay, do you want to play basketball? Okay, we have someone in the NBA. We can connect you with someone in the NBA.
Oh.
I remember when, in high school, when I decided and I said I wanted to go into aviation. I probably only flew once in my life, and that was just a flight to Cape Town. But in high school, when I told some of my teachers, I said I want to fly, they said, okay, cool, what can we do to help you to fly? I said,
These are your teachers.
these are my teachers within the school environment.
Wait, black?
Black and mixed, yeah. We had a mixed school.
Yeah.
Predominantly
Because
Setswana.
I'm deliberate in saying
Yes.
black. We teach what we know.
Yes,
And we also teach our fears.
100%.
And now I'm pleasantly shocked when you say your teacher says, how?
But that was the culture.
He's limited.
Yes.
She's limited based on their background. But here they are saying, how? So they were also orientated, basically. That's what you tell
Yes. And the reason why they said how is because they weren't going to come back and tell me, no, Wanake, you can't do it.
Oh.
It was always how. So if I told them, I said, no, sir, ma'am, I want to do aviation club, I want to go to the airport, just, we can be exposed. They'll say, okay, cool. And they'd go back and Google quickly, and then research and say, okay, we need to make sure that this kid and these kids who want to do this thing, we expose them to that. I won't say my teachers were perfect, right?
Of course.
But I know one
They were
thing.
enablers.
They were enablers and huge enablers. So the moment I told them that I wanted to go into flying, they held it against me. I didn't have an opportunity to fail. I didn't have an opportunity to lose my passion. And they literally created that environment. And the school I was in, everybody was supportive, whatever career you chose. I mean, I went to a school where you could do music, you could do art, you could do sports, you could do whatever you wanted. And we fully supported you. But you had one condition: be excellent.
At it.
It's
not just a choice.
It's not just a choice. If you're going to do it, be excellent. Oh, you want to be an entrepreneur? Be excellent at it.
Oh, wow.
You want to be an artist? Be excellent.
I can't stand the pressure already, and I'm not in your school.
The next generation. That's how I think that's how they've built the next generation.
We're going to come to that story.
Yeah.
You starting the aviation club and all of that.
Yeah.
We had a conversation off air. What have you learned so far about being black?
That's a very tough question.
I know.
As a born free, it's very hard to navigate my blackness.
Wait, born
Free.
still difficult?
Still difficult to navigate my blackness. Because for us, we live in blended communities.
Yes.
You know, we grew up in multiracial schools. You know, our parents didn't teach us hate. Our black parents didn't teach us hate. And then we meet our friends at school, or the friends, we move to suburbs, and our next door neighbor is white, and we play with the white kid and the colored kid and the Indian kid. So what does then my blackness mean? Because I was taught nationalism first. You're a South African before you're black.
That's right.
Because we're building a new democracy, the new South Africa.
That's right.
So what does being black mean to me? Then I'll probably only have an attachment to my cultural background and history, my traditional background and history.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I have. Because now, when you look at what we're building today and the South Africa that we're building today, we live and we work in blended environments.
That's right.
So before you are black, you're a professional, though. Before you are a black doctor, you are still a doctor first.
Yeah.
Right? Before it's a white doctor, it's still a doctor.
That's right.
So that's where we're trying to get to.
Yes.
Because when we speak of equality, right, it's equality with no condition.
That's right.
No condition whether you're black, white,
It's
colored, or
equality.
it's equality.
Period.
And treat me as an equal.
But
I'm still black. Right? My blackness, though, carries a lot of history. I'm still economically dispositioned. You know, there's still traumas probably that my parents didn't realize that they were overbearing on me. In the shops, how I talk to certain people, my accent, which school they decided to take me to.
that's right.
So that is what my blackness means then. My traditional background, my cultural values, and probably the history of my people. And when I mean my people, black people in this country. Because I can't just walk into a room and say, no, I'm not black. Goitseona, I'm a pilot. No. I must also recognize that I'm still black. You know, there are still mistakes of the past that need to be rectified. And there are still thoughts and cultures and values of the past that in certain rooms are still there.
Ooh.
So even when we say we're taking up space, we must realize that in that space, your blackness comes with you.
Any hurdles?
Lots. Lots and lots and
Let's
lots.
start with aviation school.
Aviation school, not so much.
Okay.
So, which was a crazy thing. So when I went to aviation school, I had a black flight instructor.
Okay. Oh,
Right?
come on.
And one of very few. And we'll get to the numbers. one of very, very few. So
Yeah.
I was very lucky.
Yeah.
And it was someone who came from Rustenburg, which I never knew.
Okay.
Came from the same community as I was from. And when I got there, I remember the first couple of words he told me. He said, you're going to be on time, you're going to dress smart, and you're going to do this thing. First thing, before he even said, what's your name? He said, you're going to be on time, you're going to dress smart, and you're going to do this thing. And now you can imagine I'm walking into an institution where I don't even know how things work.
Yes.
Like that. We don't have like lectures. It's a one-on-one. You do a theory lesson and then you do a practical lesson. So you sit in a lecture, they teach you the buttons and then they say, okay, we're going to fly in the next couple of hours and then you must use those buttons. So in aviation school, because I was pushed from the get-go from my flight instructor, and now I was very deliberate about that.
Yeah.
And he made sure that I don't slack off because I thought I made it. Because you put on the uniform and then you say, I'm a pilot now. But you don't have the license. But I put on the uniform. I'm on Instagram. I'm on social media.
You look the part.
I look the part. But
Instagram says yes, boy.
Exactly. Go, black boy, fly.
Come on.
You know? So now I said, that doesn't matter. I'm going to push you. And he did. So I went, all the aviation enthusiasts who are listening will understand. I went solo at 10 hours. So it took me 10 hours flying an aeroplane for them to say, we are confident you can fly it on your own. Right? And that was...
What's the record?
I think the record is 9 or 8. It took me 10.
Jeez, dude.
Right?
That's a B. In the standard of...
Exactly.
Well done.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I'm at 10 hours, I'm flying solo. I thought I made it then. I said, I'm flying an aircraft on my own.
Come on.
I'm on radio.
Yeah.
I'm talking to air traffic control on my own. And my instructor said, no, we're not done yet. You have potential. You are gifted in this flying thing. And it's very hard to hear someone tell you as a black kid who's never flown before, who's never been exposed to airplanes, for someone to say, you are gifted in this flying thing.
So basically, this is your calling.
This is my calling. It's a natural feeling. I get into an airplane and it's a natural feeling.
And it's not the Sangoma telling you this.
No. it's a guy that I've met at this school who is now my instructor, who has the duty of making me the best pilot possible. Because after him, I've got a career where I might fly 1 million passengers in my lifetime.
That's right.
I might forget about him. I might not even remember him. But his duty is to make sure that I'm prepared to fly those big jets out there. So flight school was a breeze because of the support that Neo gave me.
Yeah.
And because of the discipline and the learnings. And I think also there was a little bit of experience from him where, and I probably never discussed this with him, but I felt it so deeply that he looked at me and he saw himself.
Okay.
He looked at me and said, because he was also a very gifted pilot. He could fly.
Yeah.
He was someone on a daily basis. I said, yo, Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah. Tom Cruise, come on, step aside.
You understand?
Yes, Neo.
He was someone he can walk into the airport. What am I flying?
Yes, bring it on.
Bring it on, and you'd get it. So in some instances, he looked at me and he saw himself. And I was very proud of that.
Yeah.
But I felt indebted to him to say,
I have to make you proud.
I have to make you proud.
Oh, yeah.
Until this day, I still do that. We still talk, and I still say, he's one of the people that I say, when I want to succeed in my career, I'm doing it for guys like Neo who've walked before me. I'm doing it for guys who will walk after me. Those young black boys.
Yeah.
One day when I have the opportunity to teach someone how to fly, I want to be able to look at them and see myself.
Neo, the gift. It is 27 minutes after 10. This is Goitseona Diale. And how old?
I'm 23.
Come on, somebody. What planet are we living on here? All right. We'll be right back with the man.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking, Goitseona Diale, the CEO and co-founder of Fly Urefu. You are listening to My Top 10 at 10. Kaya 959, on the street, on the air.
Perfect, right?
So perfect.
So perfect.
It sounds like I'm at work now.
That's my pilot there, Chris.
Yeah. Under control.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to play music. There's a lot to cover.
100%.
Lebone, the second college, right? Oh, you just joined in. Hey, hi, this is Goitseona Diale. 23 years old, co-founder and CEO of Fly Urefu, Swahili for Fly Higher.
Yeah.
You are at the college. You start an aviation club. What is it? What do you know at the time for you to even think about an aviation club?
Whew. Fake it till you make it.
That's right.
Right? So I'd started grade 8, grade 9. I started consuming aviation.
Standard 6 for you and I.
Yes.
Bon freeze.
But yeah. So I started consuming a lot of aviation content. Right? I was passionate. I knew every single plane. I could look up in the sky, even in Rustenburg, those international flights that would go. I'd look up in the sky and I'd say, no, that's a 737 British Airways. Oh, it's 10:30. It's probably going to London right now. Right? That's how I was so intensely passionate about it.
Yeah.
And I had a friend of mine, Koskolong, his name was Kaho. Kaho had also been passionate about aviation. And I remember every single Friday, we had this thing, Koskolong, it was called, it was like after lunch, right? You had to do these clubs or cultural clubs,
Yeah.
And Kaho and I said, we don't enjoy anything else. We don't like doing the music or the sewing or the gardening and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They said, let's do something that we would like to do. And already nesta ke beile ma teacher mo half clutching ka aviation. Preparing. So Kaho and I made a proposal. We drafted a proposal. He said, we want to start an aviation club. We would like the school to support us by buying us magazines, aviation magazines.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
We'd like them to support us by buying these films for us and these books.
Okay.
Right? And then we don't need a chaperone. We will hold the session on our own. Even if there's 2 kids and there's just 4 of us in the classroom and we talk about aviation, then let it be. And that's how the club started. And then when the club started, in grade 10, we started every single Friday. And every single Friday, it's either we would watch an aviation film, a documentary.
Give me one.
Documentary or film?
Film.
Oh, Top Gun.
Oh, yeah.
Top Gun is the classic.
Yeah. Catch Me If You Can.
Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, yes.
Catch
my
Me If You
favorite.
Can.
My favorite. Yes.
We've had a Catch Me If You Can situation in...
Is it?
Yeah, but...
Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah.
So, and then the documentaries, like air crash investigations, we would sit, and our club grew from 6 people and we grew to 10, right?
Okay.
From 10, we grew to 20. From 20, we grew to 40. Every single Friday, we'd meet up.
Boys only?
Boys and girls.
Oh, cool.
Boys and girls.
Cool.
And it was probably one of the happiest moments in my high school career, every single Friday.
Yeah, you looked forward to Friday.
I looked forward to Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
And after Friday afternoon, I'd get home. At home, I had a Microsoft Flight Simulator on my laptop.
Okay.
So I'd get home and play. So I was never... Okay. I'd get home and play. And my mother used to say, and I said...
But it's not video games. This is simulation.
This is simulation.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I kind of learned how to fly. So when I got Microsoft Flight Simulator, I started playing it very well. And young people, when we play games very, very well, we get very good at them.
Yeah.
So then I went to Kago and I said, my friend, I've got this game that I've been playing. Try play it and, and we played it and we read some books on it, how to fly a plane 101.
Yeah.
Then we said to the school, okay, we found this simulator, this game.
Yeah.
Here's another proposal. Please buy us equipment so we can build simulators at school. And the school said, okay, but where are you going to put it? We said, we'll make a plan. We'll bring our laptops first. So Kago and I brought our laptops and we connected to the TV screens at school and we bought these little joysticks and we would take turns. All 40 of us would take turns flying the whole simulator thing.
Yeah.
And we'd grow and grow and grow and grow. And every single air show, while we were still in high school,
like Groenkloof, yeah.
Yes. So at the AAD, for example, we would tell the school before AAD happens, we need 40 tickets for the aviation club we want to go. Please organize transport and a chaperone for us. And we would go. And it was that thing. We were so indulged into this thing.
Yeah.
And I remember in grade 11, 12, I was telling Kago and I said, if I don't fly, I'll probably be unhappy for the rest of my life.
Oh, yeah. You felt it. It was in your gut. I felt it.
Yeah. In my gut.
In fact, I'm already picturing it before you said it. Yeah.
So...
You would have been a very depressed child.
100%. I was living and breathing everything aviation. And time went by and I told myself, this is the goal that I want. I'm going to fly. And nothing is going to stop me.
And then the king hears about you.
100%.
Hears about the aviation club. The conversation.
So he arrives at school the one day for a meeting. And obviously,
yeah, man.
So it's not like you pass him and
you say Eita.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And at school, because we were a Setswana school,
that's right,
cultural school,
yeah.
And a Kosi being the monarch,
yeah,
he gets the highest respect.
Of course.
So he was at school the one day, probably for a board meeting or something like that. I think they had briefed him on the aviation club or he had heard it from somewhere. It was a Friday afternoon. We were in the aviation club, in the classroom.
Yeah.
He shows up in the classroom, comes in. Dumela.
Honale aircon,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Lucky, yeah. Yeah.
He walks in, greets us, right? And he had this grin on his face, that smile.
Yeah.
And
because he's a pilot.
He's
too.
a pilot as well.
Yeah.
Experienced helicopter pilot.
That's right.
And he had this smile. And he said, no, don't mind me. I'm just going to sit in. And I think that day we were trading magazines because we were each of us collecting magazines and we were trading magazines and we were reading and we say, oh, look at this aircraft. And he joined in. And for about an hour and a half, that's what we were doing. We were talking about airplanes. We were talking about them.
He joined the conversation.
He joined the conversation. It felt like you were talking to a friend.
Yeah.
The king of the nation that I grew up in,
that's right,
was in my space talking about something that I'm passionate about. That's unreal. So he pulled me aside after the aviation club and he said, Diale. And I said, yes, sir. He said, what do you want to do after school? I said, I only want to fly.
Yeah.
if you can help me with that, that's the only thing.
Yeah.
Right? And I the help me part, I said in Mojapelo.
Oh, yeah. You didn't vocalize
I didn't
it.
vocalize.
Because I was like, yo.
No, get horse.
Yeah, man, come on.
One word answers.
How presumptuous, young man.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I said, I want to fly. And I remember right before he left, he said, when you finish matric, give me a call. When you finish matric, give me a call. And I carried that. And I carried that for the rest of my high school career. Because I knew I was going to get in. I was finally dream realized, that hurdle.
Yeah.
Because before at home,
Yeah.
it was, Mama, I want to go to flight school.
Yeah.
Mom said, okay, bring me the quote. How much does it cost? To become a commercial pilot, to become employable, simply employable, you need R500,000. So both my parents are teachers.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
Yes. Now, imagine telling both your parents, government employees, saying,
I need $500,000.
I need $500,000 to go to flight school, to get into an aeroplane. But my mother, being a black mother, said, Ngwanak, it's fine. We'll do it. You will go. She didn't know anything about aviation.
That's right.
She didn't know anything.
She didn't even know where the money will come from.
Nothing.
God will provide.
God will provide.
Amen.
She didn't know where the flight schools were. Right? So you can imagine a black mother with a very, very ambitious child who wants to go into a career that you don't know about.
It even scares her.
It even scares her because in our community in Rustenburg,
Come on.
we didn't know any pilots.
Yeah.
We didn't have a family of pilots.
That's right.
And in South Africa, you can count them by hand.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can imagine, Mutswadi Are, what about the future of my child? What if it doesn't go well? What if it doesn't go well?
The biggest fear of any parent.
100%. And I said, I have no choice but to succeed. Kolobone, we were taught success. We were taught ambition.
Excellence.
We were taught excellence. Why won't I carry that culture beyond the walls of Lebone? And then come matric. And I did well with my matric results. Newspaper, all those nice things.
Cheers, sir.
And all my friends were jetting off to universities across the world. You know, some of them were going into top university for top courses. And I said, cheers, guys.
Nah,
I'm going to flight school.
Yeah.
And
did you make that call?
I made that call. And I called him.
What do you mean him?
Kosi.
No way. So
I called him straight.
So he gave you his number?
He gave me his number.
And you kept it? Obviously,
I kept it.
You didn't call him
No text message, hi, how are you? No. Because in my mind, I said, there's one moment.
And that's it.
And that's it.
That's it.
I can't screw it
and
up.
He was also very clear.
Exactly.
After.
Because what was I going to say before?
Yeah. Now I'm about to write my exams.
Exactly.
Okay.
What now?
But the instruction was after.
So I call him after. And I remember I called him. We had a flight school. I'd come with my parents, both teachers. And we walked into the flight school. We got the quote. They printed the quote. And that's where I met Neo. Neo saw me there the first day.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
And it was just we're going to inquire, Anje, because we were looking around. And I got the quote. And we were sitting in the foyer. And I took out my phone. And I stepped outside and I called Khosi Leruo. And I said, Khosi, dumelang. And he said, Mutaban. I said, hi, sir. It's me again. I said, the dream needs to be realized. And
I'm at the flight school.
I got the quote.
I got the quote. I qualify. I'm here. I see it. I see everything.
And literally, it was a very short phone call. He said, congratulations, well done. Send me those papers. It's sorted.
Come on now.
Short phone call. And then it was, have a good day. Cheers, bye. Then my parents put down
And wait. Your ears, are you believing what you're hearing? I mean, it's sorted could mean anything.
It's between that day and probably 10 years. I don't know when it's going to get sorted. But I trusted.
You gotta believe, man.
Because I felt as if the universe had prepared me to that moment. There was a reason why You know, I grew up Korasimone. My grandfather's farm was next to the airport. There was a reason why I went to Lebone. There was a reason why Lebone, every single time I spoke about the aviation club, they said yes. There was a reason why I was born in Mufokeng, because Kgosi Leruo would be a king during my lifetime. A king who had studied to become a pilot.
Come on.
The universe had aligned for me. It was written in the stars. I had no choice.
But you also needed to heed its call.
I needed to.
Because you could have easily been distracted by other things.
100%.
You could have easily avoided to listen to that inner voice.
100%.
Come on, somebody.
And that's why I made that call. And as soon as he said it's sorted.
And he picked up. You see, that's the thing.
Picked up.
The timing.
He picked up.
We're also not paying attention to the timing.
A monarch of a successful nation, black nation in the world.
In the world.
In the world. One of the richest tribes in the world.
A shining example. I write about it in my book. My book is coming out first week of November. There's a part in it I write about Kgosi Leruo. I like, geesh. Right. What a living example.
A busy monarch. So he picks up my call. He says it's sorted. And then he message me the office email. I send all my details through. My parents put down the deposit as we were still at the school, because there and there I decided.
Done.
It's that school I wanted to go to. And I remember as we walked to the counter, as my parents were writing the registration forms and everything, Neo looked at me, and that's when he uttered those words. He said, "You're going to be disciplined, you're going to dress smart, and you're going to do this thing." And then came, "Hi, Neo Matlabe, I'm going to be your instructor." Everything felt like a script. It felt like a movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We paid the deposit. Neo said, "Let's not delay this thing. Start tomorrow." He said, "Be here 7:30 a.m. I didn't have a place to live in Johannesburg yet. I'm from Rustenburg.
Yeah.
We have family in Johannesburg. So I tell my parents, I said, "No, I'm going to sleep at my uncle's house."
Yeah.
Because my dream is here.
I mean, why should I go back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less than 24 hours from now, I'm going to be in an aeroplane probably doing a lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
My first time on the controls.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to mess it up. And so a week later, I get an email back from Khosi's people. They said, "Mr. Diale, here's the proof of payment to the institution, the invoice. We've covered all your studies." And they said, and then I remember the lady who sent me the email said, "Mukabane, good luck. You are a shining beacon." And then we have a saying, because, you know, our totem is a crocodile.
Yeah.
And she, instead of best regards, she said, "Aiwelemeti," which means go get it. Go for it.
I know my top 10, but there'll be no music today. Sorry. Because we are flying Urefu. Fly Urefu, you say it's an e-hailing service for aircrafts.
Yes.
Let me break it down. E-hailing service ki taxify ki Uber ki, meaning you are asking for a transport via an app.
Yes.
For aircraft, Huizi,
Private jets.
never.
We are pioneering private aviation. That's what we do. That's the vision.
At 23.
At 23.
O batla hore ke bitse aircraft. O ka re ke nna Jay-Z.
Yeah.
O ka re ke nna Casper Nyovest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you deserve wealth and luxury and comfort?
Let's start with wealth. Wow. Look, not that it is something like out of the sky. It's just under our noses.
100%.
Obviously, the blockage, the headless we spoke about. The resources to access that. We all deserve it.
100%.
We all want it. You think it's going to be possible?
You know that
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm deliberate in asking you that question.
But like I said before, my journey so far has been written in the stars. And nobody can stop it. I don't think even myself.
No.
Right?
T.D. Jakes said it better. Nothing can stand in the way of an idea or person whose time has come.
100%.
Come on.
Right there. right there. And I knew so when I left flight school, I had one goal. I said, I want to make an impact in this industry. I said, it's fine. Yeah, I'll fly the aircraft. I'll do the, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board. I'll do that. But it's about the impact that matters the most to me.
Yeah.
And when Fly Urefu started during COVID.
What?
I quit my job a month before the lockdown.
What was your job? What were you doing?
So by then, I was a flight operations manager at a charter company. I was 20 years old. Manager. So 20. I was managing about 18 aircraft, so private jets, private aircraft, about 36 pilots at that time.
Based where?
Based at Lanseria, Johannesburg.
Okay.
So before that, and I think the universe had put me through this journey where it said, you have to learn and experience first. Yeah. So I said, experience, okay, sharp. I'll probably do 5 years at a company, then I'll do another 8 years and stuff like that. But the universe said, no, you know it. So Rotsenya, wa levela, tshwara 13 poso. Deep fella wa tsena. So after flight school, I went to work at the flight school I was training in, right? I worked my way up to become a flight operations supervisor at that school. So I became a flight operations expert.
Okay.
In an aviation training environment.
Yeah.
Then I said I needed a bigger challenge. So I spent, at that flight school, I worked there probably for 6-7 months, right? And I worked my way up to the top. Then God said, you need another challenge. So I applied, and not even applied actually. The one guy walked into a flight school. He was wearing a shirt of an airline company in South Africa. I said, oh, it would be nice to work for that company, right? The guy said, actually, we kind of are looking for someone. Here's my boss's number. He gave me his boss's number. After work, I called that particular person, and I said, this is who I am. I really want to work for you guys, right? And he said, I called him on the Thursday. He said, come see me on Monday. I was living in Midrand by the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I said, Oortambo hone kaya. The company was based at Oortambo. Yeah. I said, Oortambo hone kaya. Yeah. And a friend of mine probably overheard me. And he said, do you need a lift for Monday morning? I said, I do. So Monday morning, we woke up early. He came with me to my interview at Oortambo.
Yeah.
He slept in the car for about an hour, 2 hours, because I was waiting for like an hour, 2 hours for the boss to come in. Because I know one thing, you need to be early.
Yeah.
But early bird catches the fattest worm.
You were here at 9 for a 10 o'clock interview.
You know, so I went there. I did an interview. They were looking for people. They didn't advertise yet. But I did the interview. And in the interview, towards the end, I remember the CEO of that particular airline was in my interview. And he said, how quickly can you start? I said, I can start this afternoon if you want to. Because for me, it was that. I know. I'll send the resignation letter when I get home. But I'll start my first shift today. And he said, no, relax. And he said, no, 2 weeks from now, start. So now I went from a training school, small environment. I was working in the operations center of one of the busiest airlines in the country. Right? And let me tell you the story. So I'm working at Oortambo, these big aircraft that everybody sees at the airport. I'm working in the operations center, the heart of the airline.
Yeah.
Right? On my first day, I walk with the supervisor who had interviewed me from the office, the head office, to the operations center.
Yeah.
Which is underground, go Oortambo.
Yeah.
I walk in. And as soon as I walked in, there were about 8 guys in the room. 8 young men. I was the only black one. 8 Afrikaans boys.
Yeah.
In an operations center. So I came in. Hi, my name is Goitse. And they said, hello, what's your name? Goitse. I said, yeah. And they said, welcome, bro. And I said, thank you. And they said, you're going to enjoy this. You are going to learn a lot.
Yeah.
And I remember walking in, I looked at all these big screens.
Yeah.
I looked at all these aircraft on the map and everything.
Yeah.
And it was one of my first moments of sheer anxiety. Because I never thought I'd make it that far. And I was 19 by the time I went and worked at that operations center. I never thought I'd be there at 19. But I did it. I went and I did it, and I learned, and again about my blackness, but also being a professional. Those young men that were around my same age group, right, welcomed me. They showed me the ropes. They gave me tips and tricks, and I worked my way up through that operations center from a flight operations controller, which was a junior, to dispatch. Right? And then I worked all the way up to supervisor, shift supervisor, manager. And then about a year into the job, the airline went through some troubles. They had to be grounded for a little bit. And it was that time again where the universe said, Papa,
Yeah, Ari.
On to the next. Aburhwa. So, airline goes down for a bit. I resign. I don't have a plan. I'm from Rustenburg.
That's right.
So I called my mother. I said, Mamzo, I go this time. And a black praying mother says, hang in there. Look. And the one night, I was walking from the garage. I went to buy something, and I'm on LinkedIn, right? And I'm adding all the guys, all the CEOs. So I searched CEO Aviation South Africa on LinkedIn. And I searched all those, and all of those guys, I was adding them. Add. Follow.
Yeah.
And there was one guy, his name was Mike Clark. I saw his profile. I went to his profile, right? And he was working, he was the CEO of the company. But there was something about that guy.
Yeah.
When I was adding his name. And I stopped, instead of adding, I said, add and write a message.
Yeah.
So I said, hi Mike, my name is Goitse. I do 1, 2, 3. I'm very passionate, ambitious. I'm out of a job right now. I'd really love to work for you. That's all I said. And he messaged me back as soon as I got home. He messaged me back and he said, come see me on Tuesday. Tuesday, from Kempton Park, Kanamela Taxi, Kaya Lanseria. The company was based in Lanseria.
Yeah.
Kaya Lanseria. Lanseria, I get exposed to private jets. I went to the office of that company I wanted to work for. There's private jets. The epitome of luxury.
That's right.
Private jets all around me. Private airplanes, private jets, all of that. In the hangar, there's 3 private jets. And I remember I said, am I really going to work here? I just worked for an airline. I was looking, all those big jets that I had read about when I was younger.
Yeah, here they.
And all the time I was touching them, I was talking to the pilots, the ground crew, I was in the heart of the operation. A plane couldn't take off without my permission and operations.
Right.
Now, here I am in the private jet industry. So we have a meeting with Mike. It seems like it was an interview. So Mike sits down and he says, well, lucky for you, the day you messaged me, the guy who's the flight operations officer had just passed his license and we were going to promote him to start flying. The day you messaged me, the guy who's a flight operations officer had just passed. The job was not open yet.
But you knocked still.
I knocked. The seat was not evacuated yet.
Yeah.
But I knocked. And we had a chat and Mike spoke to me. We had a chat and I said, I'd really love to work for you, but you know what? If the situation doesn't allow, it's fine. And in that meeting, same as what happened at that other airline.
When can you start?
He said, when can you start? I said, give me at least 2 weeks to figure out my living situation.
Yeah.
And he showed me around and I met everybody in the office. On the day of my interview, he showed me around and it was my first time in a private jet and he opened one of the aircraft and we walked up the stairs and we got into the private jet and I looked at it and I said, I'm here again.
How do we get to use the app? Is it downloadable? How do we do it?
So we are still testing the app with, unfortunately to say, with high net worth individuals at this current moment.
Yes, of course.
The point of our app really, because of what I learned in the private aviation industry was, I kept on seeing rich people fly all the time. The wealthiest of the wealthiest fly. So I said I wanted to create a business that that gives accessibility to people, normal people. So we created the app and we got a network of aircraft across Southern Africa.
Okay.
And currently now in Europe, which is very awesome.
Great.
And the app currently is in its testing phase with currently high net worth individuals. But in the next couple of probably in the next 2 months. We're going to be rolling it out to the public. So what you can do if you're sitting in Kuruman, and because we're blessed in South Africa that we have airports and airfields everywhere, in every small town, city, everywhere.
That's right.
So if you're sitting in Kuruman, you can go on our app, just like Uber. You can go on the app, see which aircraft is near you, right? Say which destination you want to go to, and press book, and that aircraft will come to you.
Done. Goitse, thank you, man.
Thank you very much for having me.
The only thing I had at 23 was a prospect to be a radio broadcaster at YFM, and I just bought my first car.
Wow.
So you're showing me that a lot more can be done. Thank you for reigniting the fire in all of us, man.
Thank you so much.